Good morning, and thank you and congratulations for joining us this Monday morning to get 10 minutes from your career or from your teams. I'm really excited for today because I've got a special guest again. But I wanted to start off by telling a little story about my first job where I was for 6 years, maybe slightly too long. And every year when we got our salary increases, we would just get whisked away into the office from the office and given a number that we were going to have as a salary increase and a bit of a pat on the head and like, off you go. And I was happy with increases at the time because it was more money than I'd ever earned. Obviously, I was in my first job, but I never knew why I was getting that much money, how much more money I could have got if I'd done a better job, or even what a better job looked like because there were no KPIs or targets. So when you haven't got data, and especially if you're a commercial person, like most people that might be watching this in my network, if you haven't got those numbers to be based off, you've got no idea where you sit. So today I'm really excited because I've got Ed Clark joining me, who is the founder of Hospitality Tech Jobs. Good morning, Ed. Edward.
Morning. How are we doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
Nice. So Ed's got a really exciting project on at the moment. He's creating the Hotel Tech Salary Benchmark for 2026. So can you give us a little brief description of what that's all about?
Sure. It's basically to find out what everyone's earning in the hotel tech industry, as well as an NPS, so finding out if people are happy where they're working. And yeah, it's going to be really important data for the entire hotel tech industry.
Awesome. And just while we're here, I'm going to pop up a little QR code so that whoever wants to do it can do it right now while they're listening to us as well. What made you want to do this, Ed? Like, why are you doing it?
So the first thought was, how can I add as much value as possible on a scalable basis? And I realized that our industry is a fan of data, but there's no data on people's salaries on a global basis, depending on functions, whether you're in sales or you're a CTO or you're in products. There's just no information out there. There is some generic data, so for SaaS companies in general, but nothing that is down to, hotel tech, whether you're working for a PMS or an RMS company or, a guest services company. There you go.
Nice. Thanks. And can you give us a bit more information about what the kind of questions are you're asking on the survey?
Yeah, sure. So, right at the beginning, it's going to be about gender. We want to know if there is a gender pay gap. The salary tiers that you're at, your seniority, your age, your geography, the function, your did I say seniority? I think I did. Your job function. It's not many questions. It takes less than 2.5 minutes. But really, really important data where we'll be able to analyze it quite deeply. I've got a whole team on it, actually, that's going to work on it afterwards. So yeah, those are the kind of questions that you can expect, but also, have you asked for a pay rise and did you get it type of questions? Are you happy with your salary? Are you happy with your job? So these are all super important questions.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just to make it clear, it's anonymous, so you're not going to be able to
trace
anything back to people if anyone's worried about that.
100% anonymous. And to clarify, yeah, whoever joins it is 100% anonymous. But if you want afterwards in a separate area, you can leave me your details if you want to find out the results later on as well, which is free.
Nice. So tell us a bit more. You've got a team of analysts, or you've got a team that's joining you. What are you going to do with the data? What's your plan?
Yep. So I'm joined by Zoe and Danica, as well as yourself, Emily, that are supporting it, that are sharing it with the networks. I'm asking for some thought leaders to have a look at the data once I've analyzed it, to give me their thoughts, and if there's anything that stood out to them that is of interest. I've got an analyst. Can't speak today. I've got an analyst who's going to do a deep dive into it. I'm giving them about 10 days to work on it. And I'm currently getting some quotes for a designer to make it look really good and put it in a format that's, easy to digest.
Nice. So what's in it, if I'm just thinking about all the people that are going to be watching this, what's in it, for example, for someone looking for a new job?
Super important for job seekers. So just in a nutshell, you want to find out if you are getting paid, if you are offered at market rate or not. It's important to know if someone's taking the mickey out of you. It's important for negotiation. And it's not necessarily bad if a company that you're interviewing with is paying you, below the market rate because maybe they have other things that they offer. So, if we're looking at people, who are quite junior, usually you might go for something that is a bit too senior for yourself, but they're offering, below market rate. That would make sense because you're probably going to learn a lot. You're going to be put out of your comfort zone, but you're going to grow personally. Now, if you're someone who's further ahead, you've got, you can demonstrate that you have experience, more than the average, then of course you should be paying above market rate. Data is a tool for you to negotiate.
Nice. It's like an extra data point on what you already know about yourself and where you want to go in your plan for your career.
100%. And when you're negotiating and you say you want a higher salary just because you look like an idiot and it's hard to stand on that case alone. However, if you say, look, I want a higher salary because XYZ, the data suggests that, I'm actually better than the average person for this role and therefore I demand this XYZ salary, then you're going to be taken a lot more seriously.
Nice. And what's in it for companies, for hospitality tech companies?
Companies is a little more complicated. Well, not complicated. Let's say there's about four stakeholders in a company. You've got the founder, you've got the hiring manager, you've got the HR manager, and you've got the employees. So let's talk about it from a founder's perspective. From a founder's perspective, it's helpful because you're able to compare yourself to other companies within the same industry. Or even if we have enough data, you'll be able to compare it to the type of company in terms of product that you're offering. Like if you're a PMS company, you're going to want to compare yourself to the other PMS companies. So that's going to help you in terms of finding out where you are on the competitive map, but it also helps you from a planning perspective. So it allows you to calculate your cash runway, for example. It allows you to make sure that you stay in line. But also, if you want to do some salary benchmarking as well, when you get to a certain size, you can't just individually chip and change people's salaries on a whim. You have to have a salary benchmark because even if you're paying attention without wanting to, you might actually be creating a salary pay gap between female and male, for instance, and that's going to be, first of all, it's terrible in general, but it's going to be a huge PR disaster. So just that data alone can help you get away from making those mistakes. Let's talk about HR managers. So I posted a video recently on an issue that I have that, I would go to my CEO to get the budget and my CEO would always undercut me and, I wouldn't have any data to back why that was incorrect or something. And it made my life really hard because I had to convince people to join the company at a lower than average salary. Or I would find out at the end after doing so much work, speaking to so many candidates, therefore wasting everybody's time. So that data can help you go to the CEO and be like, okay, well, if we want to place ourselves competitively, we have to offer X amount. If we hardball the candidates, maybe they might join us, but they're definitely going to keep an eye out and go for the next opportunity as soon as it comes. So this is the way to help HR managers work less and work with more confidence when working with hiring managers and helping the founder. Now, hiring managers, I would say it's the same thing. You want to find out if what you can offer is competitive or not, and if it makes sense. And when you do give an offer to candidates, or when you do an appraisal with your current employees, this is to help you. So if you've got an employee that's saying, I want this much, then you can have a look and see if that is reasonable or not. And you will be much better equipped to go into that appraisal meeting or that candidate final negotiation stage. Let's talk about the employees. kind of the same as job seekers. You want to know if you are at market rate, and this can help you in, appraisals, re-salary negotiations, or if you're being contacted from a competing, company or a recruiter, you know what market rate is for that jump. So yeah, it's look, I can talk about this all day, as you can see, but it is helpful. I strongly believe this is helpful for every single stakeholder in this industry. And I hope that founders don't see it as me trying to raise everybody's salaries. It's really not the case. You need a lot of context, and it really depends on the situation, where the company is at the stage where they're at, and things like that. But I do think it's super helpful for everyone involved.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. And I was just thinking as you were speaking about the employees, I've been in a situation, I know one of my clients is about to be in a situation where they've been offered a promotion, but they don't know yet if there's a salary increase or what that's going to look like. So that sounds like another use case for employees to know where they stand.
100%. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head.
Nice. So the more data that Ed gets on his survey, obviously, the better the information is going to be, and the more relevant it's going to be to the different segments and the different seniority levels and geographies. So you can click on the QR code, or we'll drop a link in the comments as well. Anything else you want to say, Ed, just to wrap up?
Yeah, it's really important to get as many people as possible, because if the data points are based on 10 survey signups, then it's not helpful. Really, from a data perspective, 500 is a very good number. 1,000 would be absolutely great, which is why the goal is 1,000. So far, I think we're at 274, and I can already see some interesting trends. I'm not going to talk about them yet because I want to wait for more people to join. But yeah, really important that we get as many people as possible.
Awesome. Click I've lost my mouth as well. Click the QR code, guys, and take the survey. Thanks for joining me, Ed. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.